What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over some news stories you might have missed. It's been a busy last couple days, so I want to combine 3 different stories into this one video. And let's start with the story that did come out today with Ratchet and Clank. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is coming to PC at the end of July 26th, and it is the good PC company that they are working with, Nix's, which is the ones that have just done some really good PC ports. So this is not The Last of Us Part 1, that studio that did that one. This one I think is going to be pretty darn good. I think Insomniac has worked with them in the past as well, so I would probably expect, what we got, actual Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on PC. It's a phenomenal game if you haven't played it. It's one of the best PS5 games that have come out, so hopefully this does well. Sony games tend to kind of do literally all over the place when it comes to PC releases. Some do incredible in terms of sales, and some that even you would think would do well, like even the Uncharted games normally don't do all that well. So hopefully Ratchet and Clank finds a home on PC, and hopefully we get more Ratchet and Clank because I do want more of them. Next up is actually a story from yesterday, a little bit more niche. I want to talk about Crash Team Rumble just because I feel like it, and N.Gin is now confirmed to be in the game. Now, I guess when I say confirmed, I don't want to be fake news here. They didn't do a post saying, hey, look, he's in the game and let's show you his abilities, but they did a flat out video on Cortex, right, who is a booster in the game, 3 different classes, and then when they show Cortex and they show at the bottom the characters, you see him, you see Coco, and those were the 2 you could play in the beta. Those were the 2 that even a few weeks ago, that's all we thought they were going to have, leading into the game. And then to the right is a picture of N.Gin. So that's freaking awesome. One of my favorite characters in Crash. I still need them to add Tiny. That's kind of my go-to. And then you can go to Spyro, and you could even go outside of the Crash universe. But super cool that N.Gin is in it. Makes sense for him to be a booster. That's exactly actually what I think a lot of people thought he was going to be. So that makes me more excited to play the game. We just got a few more weeks until the game comes out, and I am ready for it. And then the final story, a little bit of a negative one, but I do think it's important to bring it up. We have I don't think it's a rumor. I think it literally actually came from a trade market kind of site, but maybe it's an analysis, so maybe you can classify this as a rumor, but it's talking about Comcast, and that Comcast may get into gaming, whether it be with deals with EA, Nintendo, Take-Two, Activision, Blizzard, if the Microsoft buyout fails. Now, there's a lot of back and forth of this on Reddit. I was going through, I think I read 100 plus Reddit comments talking about it. It is somewhat complex. Comcast does the Nintendo thing with the Super Mario Bros. They have their greedy little paws in there a little bit, obviously with Universal and stuff. So Comcast is kind of right on the brink of gaming as it is. And I mean, this, what this is talking about, this rumor would be them kind of taking that next step and potentially buying one of these. I think the rumor, if it wasn't already just flat out confirmed, is with EA. They tried to buy EA a year or 2 ago, and it didn't, it just kind of fell apart. So they've been trying, and this is bad. I personally believe this is bad. Now, I've talked about I don't really want anybody buying anybody, but I'll tell you this. If we start getting these internet providers and all this kind of stuff, if we start getting them into it, and that could be what Microsoft is worried about. Microsoft has talked about Sony's not the competition, right? Nintendo's not the competition. It's these other guys. I know there's been back and forth arguments on that, but they could be right? If you have these big entities, we've seen a Netflix kind of jump in, right? If you have these big companies that have no, merit jumping into games, and they're going to start buying these game publishers, I'd actually rather Microsoft and Sony, those 2 in particular, I'd actually rather them do it. Like I said, I don't normally like it, period, but it probably is going to happen anyway. We're heading towards that future as a society, as it is. So this is something I think to keep your eyes on. If Comcast buys one of these, I know there's a lot of jokes of what they could actually do. The sad thing is the joking they actually may be true, right? It may actually not be jokes of you think microtransactions are bad now or all this different stuff. So hopefully they don't get into it. There are a lot of publishers though that I feel would want to be bought or don't really care if they're bought. EA has always kind of seemed like one of them. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll keep our eyes on it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.